Have
Articulate, are
a
you finished with
correction.
your dialogue? Oh, W. So, Luke, I kind of just got sent alive, so I missed a good portion of the conversation. It sounds like you hold a self-defense principle. Am I correct?
A self-defense principle. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, like in the instance of abortion, we ought value the life of the mother over the life of the baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, can you give me, because that would be like a self-defense principle. Would you be okay if I like tried to change your mind on this?
I mean, you can try, brother. You can try. I don't know.
Sure. Okay. So, what do you think would be some criteria in order for self-defense to be applicable?
Um, well, if we're talking in the law's point of view, self-defense is, if you truly feel your life is in danger, you're obligated, or you should use self-defense.
Well, I mean, I think I would disagree with that. So the reason why that I bring this up is because a lot of people who hold to a self-defense principle, they are either, um, and I mean this respectfully, a lot of the time they don't have enough like study underneath their belt, like to even determine what self-defense would mean. So there's a couple of different criteria for like, say for instance, self-defense to be applicable. I'll just engage like philosophically, but like I'll make sure to explain things on a level that we can both understand. So there's four criteria that I would think that needs to be like applicable. The first one is going to be necessity, right? So like not just somebody feeling that their life is in danger, but like is the threat necessary uh, for force to be present in order to quell the threat? I think that's the first question that needs to be answered. So, if, say, for instance, the threat can be quelled without asserting some sort of forceful means, that ought to take precedence. You would agree with me, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. The second criteria would be directedness. So, the if in the case of a threat being present, force should be directed toward the moral agent.
Yep.
Okay, so the third one is going to be proportionality, right? So proportionality is going to be the biggest thing that comes into contention. Um, so, like, you would agree with me that, like, just because of the fact that you feel as though your life is threatened, then that doesn't necessarily mean that you meet the threat with equal force, but you meet it with enough force in order to quell the threat. You would agree with me, correct?
Yeah, enough force to contain the threat.
Okay, and then the fourth one is going to be oriented towards justice. So that means that, like, if the intention is for revenge or if the intention is for like punishment, then it's no longer self-defense. You would agree, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's three particular things that, or three particular categories that we could address this as. What I'm going to be asking you is through the doctrine of what's called the just harm principle. It's a philosophy stance I've been working on, but it's specifically attacked from the Christian paradigm. So you have the circumstance, you have the legitimate objective, and then you have the proportionality. Obviously, it's the case that the circumstance is going to be pregnancy. The the thing in question is going to be the proportionality. And this is going to be answered. Sorry, my earbud just died. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then the question of proportionality is going to be answered through the legitimate objective. So we have the answer to the first question, which is the circumstance, right? What is a circumstance? It's pregnancy. The woman's life is in danger. That's the circumstance. What is a legitimate objective here? Is it to kill the baby or is it to save the mother's life?
I'd say to save the mother's life if the baby's killing it.
Okay, so, well, I would say that would be the very thing that's in question, right? So you would have to show that it is indeed the baby as the quote moral agent, even though I think you would agree with me that the baby here is innocent.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's why I said I want the doctors to be guaranteed 100% sure that the baby is causing the mother to die.
Sure, which I don't think in any case we could show that it's the baby itself. It would just be complications with the circumstances of the pregnancy. The issue that we run into is that if it is genuinely the case that the legitimate objective is to save the mother's life, then why not just advocate for removal of the fetus, either inducing labor or like C-section, something like this, something that we know that can save potentially both the mother and the baby.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, you're right. No, I do believe it. I don't believe the primary objective is just to save the mother's life. I believe they should do their best and to try to save the baby and the mother.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So this kind of bakes into the proportionality, right? Because I also think that you would agree with me that in every other circumstance where you have a mother and the child, proportionality just basically means, well, I went over the definition earlier, where we only provide enough force in order to quell the threat and reach the legitimate objective. So, like, say for instance, obviously you would find it wrong that like a mother like kick a child across the room just because of the fact that they pick up a knife or something like this, right? Like that would be like absurd.
Yep.
So the most reasonable thing to do is like, say for instance, if a kid picks up a knife and starts like, you know, slicing the air next to the mom, that she should like grab the child and take the knife away.
Yeah.
Right. So the principle being applied here is you got the mother who is bigger, stronger, more morally rational than the child who is weaker, slower, less morally rational. So like if, say, for instance, like let's just say a child was being rebellious and decided to punch the mother, it wouldn't be moral for the mother to punch the child back, even though the force technically would be equal comparative to size, but the damage applied would obviously be vastly different because the mother is bigger and stronger in comparison to the child. So therefore, a lesser means of force would be necessary. Correct?
Yep.
Right. So this is the very thing that goes into contention whenever we're talking about the self-defense principle. And this is why we automatically say, and you said this earlier whenever you said, oh, well, we value the mother over the baby. Well, that's more so like a utilitarian kind of value claim there, where we're just trying to minimize harm rather than looking at it from the legitimate objective means where we ought to be trying to save the mother and the child, because it doesn't necessarily follow that self-defense equals preemptively killing an agent. And you agreed with me on that earlier. So
yeah, no, I agree. The primary objective in every instance should be to save the baby and the mother.
Yeah. Well, there you go. W.
I didn't mean for it to come off as I was just protecting the mother and the mother itself. I think we should always do our best and try 100% to save the baby and the mother.
Yeah, I agree. But that's the whole reason why that I brought it up that way, is because I genuinely do think that most people who do hold a self-defense principle, they just don't know. You know what I mean? So it's like, walking them through that logic to show them that, like, that there are better options. I think that's the priority. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. And Luke, I would just encourage you to look into like what these common things are that people are trying to say is going to kill the mom, because I think the more you study into that, you're going to see that there is always actually proportionate things that we can be doing to preserve the health of the mom and the health of her baby. And like Kuroshi said, if it comes to a point of like, we need to take action, that's delivery of the baby. And that's way quicker when those sort of things tend